Hi there, YouTubers. Welcome back to my channel, the #1 place for innovators, marketers, and entrepreneurs. One of the key talents required for success in innovation is being able to accurately spot a trend. Why is that? Riding trend waves is unquestionably one of the best ways of ensuring innovation success because change equals disruption. And there's no greater colliding force with the future than the Uber trend. So address pain points raised by such Uber trends as time compression, generation ecstasy, and voyeurgasm as discussed in these previous videos with products and services that offer time savings, thrilling experiences, or transparency respectively. Ubertrends change consumer values, and it's these value change trends that create significant new opportunities. The iPod saved music lovers time by allowing them to find, buy, and store music quickly. The Nest Smart Thermostat conveniently learns from your behavior to create a comfortable home environment without the hassles of constantly monitoring the temperature. Websites like Google Shopping, TripAdvisor, and Yelp offer consumers unparalleled visibility when it comes to making a choice. But when it comes to spotting trends, it's not all that easy. You frequently see media reports that suggest that a new trend is emerging. The proof offered? 2 or 3 people that support their observation. That's not a trend. That's what's called anecdotal evidence. Trends are value changes that are detectable by changing data points. At its most fundamental level, a trend is a change between 2 data points. More data points provide more insight, but it's not entirely necessary. For example, in October 2012, the International Business Innovation Association reported that there were more than 1,250 incubators in the US, up from only 12 in 1980. Now that's a trend. At the time, NBIA also estimated that there were some 7,000 incubators worldwide. Using data from F6S, which is crowdsourced and so not entirely reliable, provides more evidence that the incubator trend is accelerating around the globe. Besides imperfect data sources and anecdotal evidence-based observations, you must also be careful when analyzing research reports or articles. Recently, I saw this headline. 22% of millennials say they have no friends. That may make for a nice clickbait headline, but it's not indicative of a trend. Here's why. Expert researchers divide the population into quintiles. A quintile is a fifth, so each quintile is 20% or an approximate fifth. At one end of the spectrum are people who participate in, buy, or do everything. At the other end are the polar opposites. In his book, Crossing the Chasm, Geoffrey Moore famously popularized the concept of the technology adoption curve, which divides the population into 5 groups: innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards. As the name suggests, innovators are the people who adopt new technologies, products, and services ahead of the rest of the market. Applying the quintiles technique to Moore's labels results in a chart like this one. Marketers like to focus on the first 3 market segments, and I would recommend you do too. After all, those 2 last quintiles, about 40% of the market, is legally dead anyway. Now let's get back to that headline. 22% of millennials say they have no friends. Clearly, this group is the laggards, and that 22% aligns nicely with the bottom quintile because what you have to look for is approximate fifths, not absolute ones. Let me give you some more examples of research study headlines that reveal very little. 2 in 5 economists surveyed by the National Association of Business Economists now expect the economy to slip into a recession this year or next. Those 2 in 5 are clearly the bottom 2 quintiles, the 40% of the market that is always pessimistic. Here's another. 24% of US smartphone users say they view TV shows or movies on their devices daily. Again, no surprise here since this is the innovator quintile. Ditto for the 1/5 of Americans who say they're online almost constantly, innovators. Some time ago, The Verge reported that 20% have no home internet access at all, laggards. Are you starting to see the patterns here? And here's the result, obviously engineered by the study's social media sponsor that was trying to prove a point that would help them land more sales. 21% of consumers are more likely to buy from brands they can reach on social. Innovators. So what do you say to a study that reveals that 58% of people who have Amazon Prime definitely would not buy Amazon Key? You say, tell me something I don't know. How about, according to more than 1,000 Innovators DNA assessments, between 10 and 15% of the world's most innovative leaders do not encourage people around them to innovate as well. My reaction, bad news bears, and duh. Another question that people frequently ask me is, what is the life cycle of a trend? It can take more than 1,000 years. Take the case study of the humble flip-flop. In 794, the Japanese invented a new form of footwear, flat straw sandals, with a strap between toes, called the Zori sandal. In 1962, Sao Paulo-based Alpargatas begins to produce a sandal based on the Zori design, called Havaianas. Initially, the sandals were met with a lukewarm reception because they were considered chinelos de pobre, slippers of the poor. But by 1994, Havaianas had become a success with middle and upper classes in Brazil. In 2003, NPD reported that flip-flops had become the world's most popular footwear with sales of more than $1 billion worldwide. That may not sound like much, but keep in mind that rubber flip-flops are relatively inexpensive to produce. So it took more than 1,200 years for this trend to go from invention to a full-blown societal wave, largely propelled by the casual living Ubertrend. I hope you found this quick overview helpful. If you would like to learn more, check out my book, Ubertrends, How Trends and Innovation Are Transforming Our Future on Amazon.com. And please subscribe to my channel and click the bell to be notified of each new video. I hope you have a great day, a great week, and a great year. See you soon, newly minted trend analysts.